phone because they can't see who's talking. And I think that would help if everyone would just say, okay, this is Stacy, and I have a question for the plaintiff, or this is Stacy, and I'd like to state, I'd like to reference this or whatever. If we could do it that way, I think it then everyone would know who's talking. So any thoughts on that, or does that sound like a good idea?
I think that works.
Okay, good.
Now, Lori, when you bring up like this plat with the floodplain and everything, are you the only one that can get rid of this?
Yeah, because I am on the share screen. But if you need me to go and take it off and do something, just let me know.
I don't need to. I was just curious if I was supposed to do something.
No, you
okay.
Stay there and relax and listen in.
Okay.
And,
let me put my feet.
And then, so whenever anyone needs anything to be shown, just please let me know. And I for the most part, I think I have everything queued up. It'll just take me a second to split, or quick stop share and pull up the new item. So.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, do we know if Pete's going to be joining us this evening?
I'm here.
Oh, Pete is here. Nice. All right. Perfect.
Hi,
So
Pete.
Everybody now, right?
Hello, hello. Hey, you paid the electric bill this month. All right.
Hey, how do you like that? I knew you were gonna like that.
I'm in the dark
so
now. I
made
got
sure I had
The dog is speaking for you. Wonderful. All right. 1 minute to go, guys.
Okay. And one other thing, Lori,
Sure.
just before we start, are you able to bring up a satellite image of this, of the property, the lot?
Yeah, in fact, I did save a map of it, and I can probably quick do a search of an aerial if you'd like.
Okay.
The map would show most of what we need.
Yeah, that helps a lot when we have that, if we are able to get that satellite view of the property.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. I'll have it whenever you want me to switch to it.
All right, thanks.
All right, it is 7 o'clock, and then you guys are being recorded and live on YouTube. And it looks like you have everybody here. Larry on phone, you're going to have to hit *6 to unmute yourself. It looks like you're still muted, but Richard is unmuted, and everybody else should be good to go.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate your help. Okay, this meeting is called to order. Secretary, please call roll.
Odette?
Here.
Jakubczyk? Jakubczyk? Henny?
Here.
Yerke?
Here.
Kane?
Here.
Wagner?
Here.
Gregorek?
Here. Now, I saw Dan out there. His name appears that he logged in. Now I'm wondering how we can get him on the phone so that he can confirm that he's actually here. Is there any other phone number that's ending in 6752 that you see, Kevin, out there, or 0512?
Nope, just Larry and Richard are the two phone ends. It looks like Dan has his audio through his computer, but he may have stepped away from his computer.
Okay. Okay,
But you know he's there. So I can mark him.
But because he does not have himself on video, he really needs to speak to let us know that it's really him. So,
okay. Now, and I apologize for this, but I can call him right now. I've got his number and to see, make sure that he gets onto this, onto the call.
and I should also
Uh,
just quickly state that if he wants to, he can also use the chat feature. Real
Okay.
quick, just to let us know that he can at least hear us. And then we can proceed from there.
That's good. Thank you, Lori. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, we can't hear you to get you signed in. All right, we'll call in on this phone number right now. Write this down. Dial in 312-626-6799. 626-6799. And then 6799. Right, and then the web ID is 984-2897-0912. Just, yeah, if you could write that down. 984-2897-0912. Right, and the passcode 157640. All right, call in right now. Okay. All right. My apologies to the appellant and to everyone. Dan's calling in right now, so he could be verified for attending the meeting here. And Kevin, his number would appear, the last four digits are 6752 or 0512.
Perfect. I will keep an eye for him.
Okay, thank you. Dan? Now I noticed while we're waiting here, I noticed in the chat, there's one chat notification in here. Is that? Oh, okay, I see what it is. Thank you. Kevin, that number, neither one of those numbers have shown up yet?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Again, my apologies.
Andy, do we have a quorum without, we have a
Yeah,
quorum?
we have enough. We could continue.
I'd probably just continue and add him in, right? Is there anything that I'm aware of that we can't do it that way?
Okay.
Oh,
All
looks
right,
like he
so-
just connected.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, Dan?
Dan, you have to hit *6 to unmute your mic. All right, Dan, you'll have to hit *6 to unmute your phone. There you go. You should be able to speak now.
I just did enter star
Perfect.
6.
Yep, we hear you now.
Dan,
You, Dan.
we can hear you now, Dan. So Carrie's going to confirm that you're present, and then we're continuing right away.
Okay,
Jakubczyk?
present.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, a motion is in order to accept the minutes of case number 20-0003 dated September 21st, 2020, and the appellant Ronald and Janika Henoch, Henoch.
I make a motion that the minutes are accepted as published.
Okay, first by Richard.
Second.
Okay, second by Larry. Larry, did you say it?
We both
Okay.
did, but you can take Larry.
Oh, okay, all right. All right, thanks, Steve. All right. So we got a first by Richard, second by Larry. Secretary, please call roll.
Bodett? Aye. Jakubczyk?
Aye.
Henny?
Aye.
Yerke?
Aye.
Gregoric?
Aye. All right. We will now hear case number 20-0004. Secretary, please read the appeal into the record.
City of Oak Creek, notice of public hearing before the Board of Zoning Appeals. This meeting will be held by video conference only. Persons wishing to participate, including applicants and their representatives, must register prior to the meeting. The video conference will begin at 6:55 p.m. to allow participants to log in. Persons who wish to view the meeting live without participating may visit the City of Oak Creek YouTube page. Persons requiring other reasonable accommodations may contact the city at 414-766-7000. Requests should be made as far in advance as possible, preferably a minimum of 48 hours. A public hearing for case number 20-0004 will be held on Monday, October 19th, 2020 at 7 p.m. This meeting is held via video conference. The appellant is Thomas Goodman, 3442 East Oak Lane, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154. The property location is 3442 East Oak Lane. The tax key number is 919-0028-000. To request a variance of Oak Creek Municipal Code Section 17.0501B6B and 17.0501B8. Municipal Code Section 17.0501B6B states the maximum square footage of detached accessory buildings or garages on a single-family residential lot greater than 1/2 acre, 21,780 square feet, shall be the greater of 720 square feet or 75% of the square footage of living area excluding attached garages, within the principal building, but in no event shall the detached accessory building be larger than 1,200 square feet. Municipal Code Section 17.0501B8 states the maximum number of accessory buildings allowable on any single-family residential parcel, 1 acre or less, shall be 2. 2 accessory buildings shall be allowed on single-family parcels which are greater than 1 acre without Plan Commission approval. Plan Commission approval of accessory buildings in excess of 2 on single-family parcels greater than 1 acre is required. If granted, the variance would allow the applicant to construct a 30-foot by 40-foot, 1,200 square feet garage on their property at 3442 East Oak Lane. The zoning of the property is RS3, single-family residential.
Okay. This hearing will be held under the rules and procedures adopted by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Persons giving testimony shall give their name and address and be sworn in by the vice chairman. After the appellant's testimony, the letter of denial will then be read into the record. We will then hear from those in favor and those in opposition. After all testimony is heard and the public hearing closed, the board will then deliberate for the purpose of making a decision. Okay, I'd like to address the appellant to state your name and the address and be sworn in by our vice chair.
My name's Thomas Goodman. What else did you need? Can you hear?
Need your address.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Tom, can you state your address too, please?
Yeah, 3442 East Oak Lane, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154.
Thank you.
Would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Pledge to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Okay, thank you. Thomas, please provide any testimony as to the reason for your variance request at this time.
Okay, I'll just read what I submitted and as far as explanations and addressing the items that on the appeal A through E. Number one, we request the zoning code 170501. Although our home has 1,308 square feet, the proposed accessory building will be 1,200 square feet. The 75 rule limits the size of the proposed building to 981 square feet. Due to extra people living in our house right now and the garage space and driveway space are inadequate for the trailers, cars, boats, and RVs that are currently clutter our driveway and roadside parking. 981 square feet will not be enough to solve the issue now or in the future. Explaining of item C, the extra size 18% larger will not have an effect on neighbors or their property values. In fact, with the clutter stored away, the neighborhood will present better. Also, the proposed location of the accessory building is set back at least 20 feet behind and to the east of the house and attached garage, so there will be pretty much out of sight from the street. And there are no effects to public safety or welfare. In regards to D, explanation is this variance follows the spirit of the ordinance because although the building will be slightly larger than specified, our lot is over an acre in size. In fact, it's an acre and a quarter and is pie-shaped with the largest section of the property to the back. We have one of the largest, if not largest, parcel in our subdivision. So the size of the building will blend well with the size and shape of our property. And then an explanation to E was if this variance is granted, the neighborhood will appreciate the tidiness of the property and will help make our area look its best. And then in addressing the second part of the denial letter in reference to the 2 buildings, accessory buildings that are now located there, Since the maximum allowed is 2, we will agree to tear down the one nearest the attached garage within 30 days of completion of the proposed building. Currently, the shed is filled with storage items with nowhere to put them until completion of the whole building. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so that's the extent of your testimony. Thank you very much for
Yes.
clarifying about the second building that's on the
Yes.
bottom. So that helps. And now I'd like to, you'll be able to speak further as we're going along with this, Thomas. So, but we're going to now open up the questions of the board to you, and then you can then answer those questions as they're addressing it with you, okay? Okay, board members, can you state your name and then your questions for the appellant?
Well, this is Larry. I just got a question for Thomas. Now, I just want to clarify. You said right now you have 2 accessory structures and that you would tear one down. What are the existing size of the structures, the square footage area of each? Do you know?
The one in the back is 8 by 12, and the one next to the attached garage is 12 by 20. And that one is a carport that's been closed in.
I didn't hear what you said. That one will what? The last one?
One is a carport that has been closed in on the sides and the end.
12, a carport, okay.
Hey, this is Dan Jakubchik. That RV you have next to your garage, would you be storing that in your new structure?
Unfortunately, it's too tall for the proposed size of the height of the building. We could only put a 10-foot door in there. We're like 6 inches too tall if we go with a 12-foot door.
Okay, thank you.
Thomas, this is Randy. Question for you. With the structure that you're going to be taking down when you're putting up the proposed structure, is that going to be then the 12 by 20 carport?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Which one did Randy, this is Larry, which one did you say is going to come down?
I'll answer. The 12 by 20 enclosed carport that is behind the attached garage currently.
Okay, that's the one that'll come down. Thanks, Thomas.
Okay. Any other board member questions?
Hey, Randy, just to be on the safe side, why don't we go ahead through the list of our board members and then give them a chance to speak, just to make sure that we're not missing anyone.
Good idea, Lori. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Can we have Richard?
It looks like Richard, you may be muted. You might have to star 6 on your phone again to unmute.
Okay. While we're waiting for Richard, let's go to Stacy.
Hi, I have no questions at this time.
Okay, thanks. Larry, you already asked some questions. Do you have anything else to add at this time?
Yeah, this is Larry. I got more questions.
Okay.
On the estimate that was submitted, estimate ID 44309, page 2 of 3. It's a colored picture, shows the building brown with a blue roof and a pinkish roof. It says on there, approximate peak height 17.4 inches. And I know our zoning code in various places says the maximum height is going to be 17 feet. If you can clarify this, or if we have to ask Lori Miller, zoning administrator, about this height difference?
Okay, did everybody hear that?
I did.
Okay,
Who would you like to have speak, Randy?
pardon me, Lori, what?
Would you like me to speak on behalf of that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Can we swear Lori in, please?
Yes. State your name and address, please, Laurie.
Sure. Lori Miller, 558 North 63rd Street, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, 53213. Yes, the max height is 17 feet.
Okay,
You're right.
It was just 4 inches. So
Lori?
Laurie,
4-inch
Laurie,
difference.
that's where you in first.
yeah, he's gonna swear you in first.
My bad.
Do you
Okay.
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Proceed.
sure. So 17 feet is the max height. Because it was just a 4-inch difference, we just kind of put it to the side. The bigger deal was the fact that this went so extremely over the max square footage.
Okay,
Okay, so this is Larry, just so I understand, and the extra 4 inches is not an issue. It's 17 feet.
It's 4 inches. I don't think anyone's going to pick it up from the road.
Okay.
okay. That's good to know that information. Okay, Larry, anything else? You said you had a couple questions?
Yeah, yes, I do. In our zoning board handbook, on page 95, it talks about hardship due to unique property limitations. It says unnecessary hardship must be due to unique physical limitations of the property, such as steep slopes or wetlands that prevent compliance with the ordinance. Okay, well, that doesn't really apply to this case because he's got plenty of area. But then the next sentence says the circumstances of an applicant, and then in parentheses it says growing family, need for larger garage, etc., are not factors in deciding variances. Wanted to state that for the record.
Okay, thanks, Larry.
This is Richard.
Okay, Richard?
Yeah, I have a question. Didn't we once have an issue with a garage door opening and make it large enough to get a piece of equipment in over there? I'm not sure which one it was.
That was for Mark Verhalen
Yeah, he had,
for his farm equipment.
yeah, he couldn't get in a standard or whatever the door size that it was. I don't think we altered the height of that building, but I think that I think we granted something on the door size because we felt without the door being large enough that he couldn't put the equipment in. In this case, probably the largest piece to be stored would be the RV. And, so we're building a building that we cannot store the largest piece of equipment, that we're talking about storing all I think someone mentioned toys or something here.
Well, Richard, on that, Thomas mentioned that the RV would not be stored. It's too big for the structure.
You can't go through the door.
Yeah, but you mentioned that wouldn't be stored in the structure. Thomas, am I correct? Did you state that the RV would not be placed in the new structure?
Yeah, you are correct. I said that it wouldn't fit in the door, so therefore it will not be.
Oh, okay. So Richard, so that's why you're asking if they increase the height of the entrance, that would then allow for the storage of that RV? Is that what you're
Because we've done that in the past for Verhaelen to accommodate the enlarged size of the newer equipment that he had. And here's a case, I'm saying, I'll repeat, that if a large door would an enlarged door would let you store the RV, and the variance is asked for to store the equipment, yet we're saying because of the door, the largest piece of equipment is not going to be able to be stored in that building.
Correct. That's
Yeah,
not, that wasn't part of the application to,
Right.
you know,
Right.
they're not asking for a variance to exceed the wall height.
And I don't know it now, Thomas, with that being brought up here, you wouldn't have enough room in the, even if that entrance was increased for everything that you wanted to put in this new building. Is that correct? You wouldn't be able to fit an RV in there besides, would you?
No, and that you pretty much hit the nail on the head there, Larry. The RV was never planned to go in there because there's already at least 5 vehicles and two trailers that are going to probably take up most of the space. And although I would love to have a high enough door, it will have to have some re-engineering to do it, and we weren't really worried about it.
Okay. All right. Thanks for clarifying that, Thomas.
All right, I have another question.
Okay, Richard.
Have you, Thomas, have you looked at any off-site storage? I mean, a lot of people own RVs and boats and various recreational vehicles, and they don't store them at home. They store them off-site. Have you looked at any of that?
Yeah, we already have 2 off-site storage areas, and my son and I are spending over $250 a month in storage besides what we have on the property.
Okay, Richard, is anything else that you'd like to question?
No, that's all.
Okay, so let's move on to Tal. Tal, do you have anything to ask the appellant?
I guess my only question would be, you know, when I was looking over your letter to appeal this, you know, you mentioned spaces inadequate for the trailers, cars, boats, and RVs that currently clutter. But then I was thinking that, okay, the variance would make sense because the RV is in the way. But like everyone was mentioning, the RV is the one thing that we're not putting in there. So that 200 square foot differential, is that really going to make, you know, that big of a difference for you personally for what you're going to fit in to your garage?
Well, I guess you'd have to look at it from the standpoint of what already was going to be in there. That 20 square feet is easily enough for a boat, a large boat, or a large trailer, 10 by 20 foot area. Did anybody pull up the aerial view, the satellite view of the property? You could probably see the boats and the trailers.
Yes, I did. Did anybody else get a chance to bring up a satellite view? Or
Here, I can
Lori, yeah.
share that with you.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
I apologize. Sorry to fumble through this here.
I'm just glad that you can do this.
Even I'll bite a little slow. Here, let me just rotate this so we can see it a little bit better. But as you can see, this aerial actually shows that there's a significant amount of trailers on it. In fact, what's on the property exceeds code and would be considered a code violation.
Okay.
I can explain some of the things you're seeing on the picture there. You can see the large RV far right. That's the one that I own. And there's another one directly behind it, which is now gone. And there's 2 trailers and a boat right where the hand is right now. Those are going to go into storage. And a lot to the left of the RV, there's a bunch of other stuff outside that needs to go in for it's benches and parts and tools and all kinds of stuff that doesn't fit in everything I've got right now but that I need on a daily basis.
And if you don't mind me stepping in, so right where my hand is right now, the cursor, that is where that carport is that he was speaking of earlier.
Okay.
Exactly. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, that's the 12 by 20 Menards steel carport that's been closed in on both sides in the end.
Okay. All right.
There's also, I'm sorry, excuse me. There was also several cars that are hard to see in there too. Two of those cars are going to go in there also. So there's a total of at least 6 vehicles and some other storage that's going to go in there. Obviously, if I could build bigger, I would, but I don't have farm zoning.
Okay, Thomas, so out of the items that you mentioned there, is everything besides the RV on this picture then basically, like you said, one RV, that's not yours, you mentioned, and that's not, is that going to be, is that the neighbors then, or is that your son's, or?
Yes, that was my son's. It's now been moved to a deer hunting location.
Okay, good. All right, so then basically everything that you have on the lot is going into the storage except for your own RV then, based on what's on this, what we've viewed in the satellite view, correct? Or is there anything else that's shown there that's not going to be going into the new structure?
No, but let me also add, because it's not in the proposal thing, is that obviously we're going to add enough gravel to go from alongside the attached garage where there's now an existing driveway. We're going to go to the front of the proposed building, and then we're going to put a siding of gravel to the side that will be about 12 foot wide, and that's where we propose to set the RV. Yeah, and we're moving everything back away from the house, so it returned to normalcy.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good that you clarified that. And since it's gravel, that isn't an issue. You don't have any kind of restrictions for putting gravel.
That's my problem right now, is as Lori mentioned, that those things are not being stored properly on they need gravel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and on top of that, it exceeds the number that you're allowed to have on property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so just to clarify then, everything that's on your property is going into the new structure except for the RV that you're moving back. And that's, so basically you're just going to have an REV on the side of your house.
Actually, it'll be moved back to the side of the proposed building.
Oh, okay. All right. So then everything else is being cleared off your lot. It's going to be stored. So then there won't be a violation. Like Lori was mentioning, it's not within the city requirements.
Right. And so in the end, when everything is done, there'll be only 3 vehicles. There'll be my wife's, mine, and my son's, and one of them will be in the garage. So there'll actually only be 2 vehicles and an RV on the outside.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, so now I'd like to have Peter, because, wait, before I go to Peter, Tal, is there anything else that you need to add? Anything else you have a question on?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Peter, need your excellent input at this time.
Oh, most excellent. Hey, question, I might have missed it. When you were talking about the 4-inch difference on height, that's because it's just a 12-foot, 4-inch tall building, right?
I believe the peak was 7 feet tall, but the walls, I will have to quick check. I believe
it's 8-foot walls with 12 feet. I'm just looking at the specs sheet that they provided. And when I heard it, we talked about 4-inch difference, and I'm like, well, that's 17 feet 4 inches. He technically should be looking for a variance for height.
Correct.
That even though he's not, we won't be able to. I agree with you, Larry, that we won't be able to tell the difference. But on the paperwork, that's going to be a problem.
Can I state that the plans are for a height that is below 17 feet total? I don't know where Lori got that from.
Okay. Well, I just looked on here that says inside clear height, which I usually means like height to ridge would be 12 feet. And if you have an 8-foot side wall and looking at the bracket at the roof truss, it shows a 5'7" height add on to 8. So to me, it came out to like 12 feet 7 inches myself, but I'm not trying to do math on the fly here. I guess I just wanted to make sure that it is under 17 feet, just because otherwise that will be a problem on the paperwork side.
Pete, this is Joe Goodman, Tom's son. I want to clear it up so everybody understands. I think that there's
Is it Joe you said?
I think because the Menards prints, I think are actually slightly incorrect.
Joe, we got to swear you in. We have to swear you in.
That's okay. Just let me explain. After I turned in the
nope, mute him.
We got to do it that way. Sorry, got to follow the procedure. Can you state your name and the address and be sworn in by the vice chair?
That's fine. You can swear me in.
Okay.
State your name and your address, please.
Joseph Goodman, 3442 East Oak Lane, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. All right. You were going to add, Joe?
Okay, sorry, I just want to clarify this. I think those prints that my father turned in are actually slightly incorrect. If you're getting a height of 17 foot 4 inches, the total height of the building is 17 foot. It will not exceed the maximum height. The trusses that I designed are there's special trusses with scissors in order to give us a higher clearance on the inside, but the outside is not going to exceed the 17 feet. The only variance we're asking for is the square footage variance.
There does seem to be a conflict in the plans. Because I see I apologize, these are not numbered.
Yeah, sorry, Lori. If there's a conflict on that height, if you want a note on there, we can turn a change on that to that requirement after this meeting. I'm not sure why you might have ended up with the wrong ones. Maybe we photocopied the wrong thing or something, but they.
Okay, yeah, because this is different than what we received. So the estimate ID 44309, it says page 1 of 3. It does clearly say that the height is 12 feet 6 inches. But.
Yeah, okay, we were just kind of talking. I think what happened was I had to have those trusses redesigned. And I think my dad turned in the first set and he did not turn in the second redesigned set because they didn't email them to the right place or something. So I apologize.
Okay. All right.
Well, I just want to clarify. So what you're proposing to be constructed is still 12 feet tall, 6 inches, correct?
What we're proposing to build, the overall height of the building would be 17 feet. The inside height, I believe, is 12'6", but the re-engineering and custom trusses would be designed to meet your requirements to stay below 17 or at 17, basically.
Okay, great. That's good to hear. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to create a big cluster, but the documentation in the packet was confusing. We had 12 feet 6 inches and we had 17 feet 4 inches. And just want to make sure, as the applicant is aware, that even if we grant all the variances that you're requesting tonight, which seems to be one now, you would still have to meet the 17-foot height. So that's good. Just wanted to clarify that.
Thanks, Pete.
I don't have any questions for the applicant. Just backtracking to Richard's comment about Verhalen and that entrance to the door. If I recall
Right.
correctly, that was a variance for the wall height on the side that was granted, which then allowed the applicant to build a taller wall. That's not being requested here tonight, and we can't,
You can't
grant
bring
variance.
it-
That's not big. It wasn't published as a wall height thing, so we really can't address that. And then I guess the last comment I'll make is that we can't require the applicant to store anything in that garage that's currently sitting outside.
Okay.
This is strictly we have to focus on, is there a hardship here? Can he not do something anyone else can do in the city under the same zoning restrictions? And so when we go to deliberation, I'll share more about my thoughts on the criteria and whether or not a hardship is warranted on this. But at this time, I don't have any other questions for the applicant.
Okay, thanks, Peter. Thanks for that additional input. And then another thing I want to add too, even if we would have dealt with an exact situation with another property, each variance request is handled under its own specific situation. So we wouldn't be basing an opinion on what we might have done on another variance. We have to look at this one totally separate. So just to clarify that as well. Okay, so then I think we covered all the, wait, Stacy, do you have anything to add at this time?
Actually, I do have one question.
Okay,
I'm wondering if the appellant ever gave any thought to adding on to his existing garage, and then the size of his garage would not be a factor because he can go larger than an accessory structure.
okay, that's a good question.
It is a very good question, and I did consider that initially, but unfortunately, there's still a size restriction to the attached garage as far as, it couldn't be 1,200 square feet, which would also still be smaller than what I would have if we built the accessory building.
Really? Huh. Okay.
I don't believe you can build a 40 by 40 attached garage to the house. I don't believe you can. I don't think there's enough side setback, but I'm not sure. I didn't look at all the way fully, but I've never seen an example of that large of a garage attached to the house in Oak Creek.
I actually have seen some pretty big ones attached to ranch homes, and that's why I was asking. They tended to not go wider than a 3-car garage, but they went long.
Okay, one of the other things is obviously cost. The attached garage would need full footings and
Right.
the full stick construction. This is going to be a pole construction.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was something you were aware of, if it was something you'd have interest.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's an excellent question.
okay, thank you, Stacy. Is that the extent of the board members' questions at this time?
For me, I'm good at this time.
Okay. All right, Secretary, can you please read the letter of denial into the record?
Dated July 21st, 20, to Thomas Goodman, 3442 East Oak Lane, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154. Regarding the letter of denial at 3442 East Oak Lane. Dear Mr. Goodman, I recently began to review your building permit application for your garage. I am unable to approve your building permit for the following reason. The proposed garage is 30 by 40, 1,200 square feet, and exceeds the square footage allowed for an accessory building on your property. According to section 17.0501 B6B of the zoning code, the maximum square footage of detached accessory buildings or garages on a single-family residential lot greater than 1/2 acre, 21,780 square feet, shall be the greater of 720 square feet or 75% of the square footage of living area. excluding attached garages, within the principal building, but in no event shall the detached accessory building be larger than 1,200 square feet. According to Accessor data, your existing home has 1,308 feet of living space. The proposed garage could not exceed 981 square feet based on 75% living area calculation. According to a 2020 aerial of your property, 2 accessory structures exist on your property. According to section 17.0501 B8, the maximum number of accessory buildings allowable on any single family residential parcel, 1 acre or less, shall be 2. 2 accessory buildings shall be allowed on single family parcels which are greater than 1 acre without Plan Commission approval. Plan Commission approval of accessory buildings in excess of 2 on a single family parcel greater than 1 acre is required. Consider this letter as an official letter of denial. If you wish to appeal staff's decision, you may apply for a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals within 30 days of this letter. To appeal the decision, complete an appeal application and return it to the city clerk's office along with a copy of this letter in the amount of $250. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and I will be happy to assist you through the process. Sincerely, Lori Miller, Zoning Administrator, Planner.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Okay, is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor? Anyone here wishing to speak in favor that's attending this call? Anyone else here wishing to speak in favor, attending this call at this time, attending this meeting at this time? Kevin, is there anyone else out there that that had come onto the meeting that would...
There is not.
Okay, there's not. Okay. I'm going to just say this then too right away. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone here wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else attending this meeting today wishing to speak in opposition? And since there's no one else out on the Zoom meeting right now, I take it there's not. And now I'd like to ask the board if there's any other questions at this time before we go further down in our meeting. Is there anything else that you just thought of that you might like to ask? Okay.
Not for me, Randy.
Okay, thanks, Stacy.
Richard's okay.
Okay, thanks, Richard.
That's okay.
Larry, okay. Peter and Tal, you got anything else to add?
Nothing more.
Okay, good. Okay, I think, Dan, what about you? Do you got anything else to add, Dan?
I'm okay on that.
Okay, all right. Does the zoning administrator have anything to add at this time?
Other than I apologize for the confusion. Even the permit application doesn't match what was provided completely to
Okay.
us. So, but as long as we have clarification from Mr. Goodwin right now of what his intentions are building.
Okay, and based on what was stated, that would be acceptable. What
The 17
Thomas
foot
said.
ridge height, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
And then it does appear that he's consistent with the square footage. of the
Okay.
building.
Okay, thanks. And Peter, that was good that you caught that too. Does the appellant have anything else that you'd like to add at this time?
Nothing else other than I appreciate the time you've taken to discuss this and consider this.
Okay. Do you or Joe, does Joe have anything else to add, or did he pretty well cover what he wanted to get across?
I think you guys have the idea of what we're trying to do. And just for the record, I did miss the beginning of the meeting. But I will just add that basically the overall plan here is to take this semi mess of a yard and make it more presentable. And doing this garage without adding on to the house, which would have been obviously ideal in order to meet the city's requirements. Being that my father and my mother are both retired and don't work anymore, it's simply the reason for this is simply that they just can't do it. They can't get a loan to do it, and the garage is the fix for the problem. So I appreciate your time too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, since that covers all the questions for everyone, before I close this hearing, if the board grants you this variance, you must start construction within 6 months. If within 6 months you fail to start construction, the building inspector can grant you a 6-month extension. If the construction is not started within 1 year from the date of granting this variance, the variance will expire. Any further extensions, therefore, will require approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals. Do you understand that aspect and the time required?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. And if you are denied this variance, you have the right to challenge this board's decision in circuit court, and you must do so within 30 days from the time it is placed on file in the city clerk's office. You cannot appeal the same question for 1 year. You will be notified. Well, actually, we used to mail decisions, or you could call the city administrator. But I take it you're going to wait until this decision is completed today, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the board is going to now move into deliberation. And at this time, no more testimony will be heard. So, this will be just totally us discussing this case based on all the facts and information that you presented today. So as a result, I am hereby declaring this hearing closed, and then we will be going into those deliberations to further discuss your case. And this would be the board members doing that. So you will not be able to participate any further, but at the end, you will hear our decision, and then we would, confirm that you're still out there and that you were listening to our deliberations. Okay? All right. This is in a RS3 district, and the appellant is asking for a variance, which is actually the total variance that he's looking for, to increase it to the 1,200 square foot accessory building. Does anybody have that written down offhand before I?
219, is that right?
209. Okay, what did 290 what?
219 feet.
Okay, 219 feet. So that's the variance request being requested. And it was confirmed that in terms of the other part of the variance request, that the carport structure is going to be torn down, so there won't be any issue with that part of the variance.
Correct.
Okay, so
Randy,
so
this is Larry. Just to clarify what Stacy said, the variance requested is 219 square feet.
Yes, that's correct.
yes, so that's the total amount of the variance being requested for that accessory building. And then the other part, like I mentioned, since they're tearing down the other structure, then there won't be an issue any further, because then they're only going to have two structures, two accessory structures on the lot. Okay. All right, discussion points. I'm going to run down each, I'm going to state each board member name, and then I'm going to ask if you have any discussion points. First, Richard, do you have any discussion point at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay. Larry, discussion point?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Larry. I got a discussion about all the vehicles, et cetera, all the toys, whatever you call them. I mean, it's great, but other appellants, same zoning district, park a lot of vehicles in their yard and behind their house, and then they want to go with bigger than what the code allows. So I don't, to me, I don't believe that deserves a variance.
Okay. And then just to clarify, Larry, they got with those vehicles too, they mentioned they're only going to have 2 vehicles on the outside of the property when this is all completed. Everything else is storage except for the RV. And then they're going to have 1 vehicle because they have 3 vehicles on their lot. 1 vehicle is going to go in their garage. So then that'll eliminate, they'll be in compliance with city requirements for the, because right now they have too many structures and vehicles on the lot right now. So
I
that's
understand, Andy.
okay.
But, circumstances of an appellant, such as a growing family, elderly parents, or desire for a larger garage are not legitimate factors in deciding variances. That's on page 97 of our zoning board handbook.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that point. Thanks for that point, Larry. Anything else you'd like to add at this time?
Oh, that's it.
Okay. Thanks for that point. Stacy.
Yes.
What are your thoughts at this time?
I personally feel that this appellant has other options available to him. Since we cannot use financial matters or issues as part of a variance or grounds for a variance, cost is not something that we can consider when we grant or deny variances. So when I look at this and I look at our codes, I feel that the building that would meet codes would substantially take care of most of his problem, even though I realize he would like something bigger. I also feel like he has a couple different options, even though some might be more expensive than others. He could, 1, add on to the existing garage, as well as knock down the smaller, both of his current accessory structures and put up 2 larger ones that would both meet code, and he'd still be within the 2 accessory building limit for the city of Oak Creek. So I'm not seeing this as a hardship to give the extra square footage. I feel like he will be able to put a good amount of his recreational vehicles, toys, cars, etc., into an almost 1,000 square foot structure pretty nicely, and then accommodate the other stuff in a different way. So
Okay.
I'm not feeling that the hardship has been presented, and I don't feel like he doesn't have the ability to use his property like anyone else in a RS3 district.
Okay.
This is Richard.
You brought up some excellent point. Okay, Richard.
Yeah, I'm looking at the size of the building that we're granting, that it could be built, the 981 square feet. That's the equivalent of two car garages. So the storage space on this property would be the one building that he has already, plus the equivalent of two more two-car garages. So I'm sort of concerned about if someone comes and they have a list of things and then they're asking for a building big enough to store them all. I go with Stacy. I think there's other options to store these, and I don't see a hardship there.
Okay, all right. Thanks for your input, Richard. I'd like to move now to Dan. Dan, do you have any input for us?
Well, the way I see it, after I rode past this property, he does need some kind of storage facility there. Now, I think I'd have to, in a way, maybe agree with Stacy that if he tore down the buildings and put two buildings that meet the code, that might be the proper direction.
Okay, that's is that the extent of what you want to say, Dan?
I say I do think he needs space to store that, people, but I agree with what Stacy said.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that input. Now I'd like to move to Tal. Tal, do you have anything else to add to what?
I mean, I think Stacy made the point that I think we're all kind of agreeing on, is that, the 981 square feet feels adequate for the amount of things, he has. I mean, I would have understood a little bit more if the RV was going to fit in there, but since that's not a thing, I don't know. I think 981 is more than enough, because his house is 1,300 square feet. Now he wants a 1,200 square foot, garage essentially. That's seems a little much. So I think Stacy made the point that I think we're all kind of getting at.
Okay, thank you, Tal. And Peter, and I know you might have something else to add, so I want to make sure we get you in there too.
No, I think the board already has made very good points, I guess, to build on it. In addition, I was looking at what the applicant put for the reasons why a variance should be granted. And, to promise that your property is going to be tidy and nice is not a condition we can put on a variance. So to promise that your property is going to be nice and clean if we give you 1,200 square foot variance is not a reason to grant a variance. Talking about being 20 feet off the road, being basically invisible from the road or from your neighbors. On the application I saw was 18 feet, and it looks like it's basically, you're going to just see it right from the road. It's going to be a 1,200 square foot building. When I was looking at the size of houses in the neighborhood, most of them were about 1,000 square feet. He has probably the biggest house at 1,300. All his neighbors are going to even have to build a smaller garage, probably more like a 720 square foot garage. The applicant, just like the other board member said, I believe they can meet the code, and they could build up to 2 accessory structures of 981. So you could get 1,900 square feet, which is way more than giving the 1,200. And as the board member said, finances is not the reason to grant the variance. The idea is, can the applicant follow the rules? And from what I can see, he can follow the rules. That there is no hardship to warrant having to grant a variance.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Right. Thank you very much, Peter. That was excellent points that you made. Now we can run through the findings just so we can document this further as to why we're coming up with our decision. So I'd like to run through these findings and just to get that on record. Okay, so section 17.1107 finding. No variance to the provisions of this chapter shall be granted by the board unless it finds by a preponderance of the evidence that all the following facts and conditions exist and so indicates in the minutes of its proceedings. A, preservation of intent. No variance shall be granted that is not consistent with the purpose and intent of the regulations for the district in which the development is located. No variance shall have the effect of permitting a use in any district that is not a stated permitted use, accessory use, or conditional use in that particular district.
Accessory structures are a permitted use in a RS3 district.
Okay, Thank you, Stacy. Okay, B, exceptional circumstances. There must be unique circumstances or conditions applying to the lot or parcel or structure that do not apply generally to other properties of uses in the same zoning classification. And the granting of the variance should not be of so general or recurrent nature as to suggest that the zoning chapter should be changed.
No exceptional circumstances exist.
I
Okay.
concur.
Everybody agrees? Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody disagree? Okay. All right. C, economic hardship and self-imposed hardship, not grounds for variance. No variance shall be granted solely on the basis of economic gain or loss. Self-imposed hardship shall not be considered as grounds for the granting of the variance. And I feel that economic and self-imposed hardship wouldn't apply to this. Does everybody agree?
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. All right. D, preservation of property rights. The variance must be necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of substantial property rights possessed by other properties in the same zoning district and same vicinity.
The applicant is able to enjoy the same rights possessed by others in the neighborhood. Therefore, the variance is not necessary to preserve the enjoyment and
Okay.
preservation.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Everybody agree with that?
Agree.
Great.
Okay, Larry? Okay. All right, E, absent a detriment, no variance shall be granted that will create substantial detriment to adjacent property or that will materially impair or be contrary to the purpose and spirit of this chapter for the public interest. Now, I think something was mentioned about, did Tal raise this where one of the board members raised that with other properties in the area averaging like 1,000 square feet, that this accessory structure would actually be bigger than the houses in that area. So I don't think that's substantial detriment, but that does somewhat impact the neighborhood, I would think. Does anybody have anything to add on that?
It would be my opinion that if we granted the variance, that it would not cause a detriment.
Okay.
I don't feel it would.
Okay.
I agree with that statement.
Okay. All right, everybody agree with that? All right, additional requirements in flood districts. Now this is actually in a floodplain. But I think with where we came with this, I don't think we even have to address that further because it seems based on what everyone has stated, it doesn't look like that we would be able to approve this variance. Am I correct?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I could just add on to that, the floodland district doesn't really apply just due to the fact that he's not looking to go near or in the floodway. So
Okay.
we don't have to worry about that. He'd be high and dry if he were to build even a 17-foot, 981 accessory structure.
Okay. All right. Thanks for clarifying that further, Peter. All right. Based on this, do we have a decision here? A motion is in order to grant or decline this or deny this variance. Can we have a motion here?
I move we deny the variance requested.
Okay.
Richard seconds.
Okay. All right. First by Stacy, second by Richard. Secretary, please call roll.
Excuse me, Randy, before you do that, do you need reasons for my moving to deny?
Yes, I guess you should specify that at this time. Yeah.
My reasons would be I do not believe exceptional circumstances exist. The variance is not required for the appellant to enjoy his properties in the same manner as other residents in our RS3 district. And the appellant also has other options available to him without requiring a variance.
Okay, all right. That was pretty thorough. Does everybody agree with what Stacy said? That covers all the reasons?
Well said.
Okay.
Okay, very well said, Stacy. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So we got a first by Stacy and a second by Richard for denial, and the reason has been stated. Secretary, can you please call roll?
Odette,
Aye.
Jakubczyk,
Aye.
Henny,
Aye.
Yerke,
Aye.
Gregoric.
Aye. Okay, a motion is in order to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, first by Richard. Do we have a second to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, second by Stacy. Secretary, please call roll.
Odette,
Aye.
Jakubczyk,
Aye.
Henny,
Aye.
Yerke,
Aye.
Gregoric.
Aye. Okay, Thomas and Joe, I just want to make sure you're still out there, that you did receive the decision of the board.
Yes, we heard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for acknowledging that. All right, thank you, everybody, for attending this meeting today. I appreciate everybody's input. Thank you to Lori for putting everything together. And I hope everybody has a good evening tonight. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Thank you, Rand.
All
Night,
right.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Night.